You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the December 23rd meeting of the Michigan City Water Works Board. You can find more information for this meeting at www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Call this meeting of the Water Board to order. Today is December 23rd, 2024. First item of business is approval of the record of the executive session held on December 10th.
I'll make a motion to approve the record of the executive session held on December 10th.
Second.
There's a motion and a second that we approve the record of the executive session held on December 10th. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of the minutes from the board meeting held on December 10th.
I'll make a motion for approval of the minutes of the previous board meeting held December 10th, 2024.
Second.
Motion and second that we approve the minutes from the board meeting held December 10th. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Purchase orders.
Before you have a list of 6 purchase orders. The first purchase order is to USA Blue Book for flushing hydrant. This was confirming. It's for a customer that has some water quality issues that we need to address. And this will help us flush the lines more thoroughly. The amount was $689.26. The next one is to K&L Supply. This was a control board for unit heater at our distribution center. This was a confirming purchase order, so we can get it fixed and operating. The amount was $647.50. The next one is to Pollard Water. These are locators for our crew trucks for $7,165.83. That's for 2 of these units. Number 4 is to Flanagan Tire. This is tires for truck 11 for $931.96. The next one is to Uline. This is for a mobile storage cabinet for our plant for some equipment we need to store for $1,745. And the 6th one is to Utility Supply. This is a 3-foot hydrant extension that needs to be used out at Woodland Bridge for $938.05.
I'll make a motion to accept the list of purchase orders dated 12/23/2024 in the amount of $12,117.60.
I'll second it.
There's a motion and a second we accept the list of purchase orders dated December 23rd. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Claims.
Motion to approve the list of claims dated December 23rd, 2024.
I'll second that.
There's a motion and a second that we approve the claims dated December 23rd. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Financial statement. Chris?
We'll just run through our cash flow on page 2 real quick. We took in $727,957 in receipts for the month. And we spent $818,599, not including our monthly transfers. Our inventory purchases were $34,548, and our capital expenditures were $225,168. Left us with an ending balance of $223,934. On page 3, our operating revenues were actually pretty good for the month. They were over forecast and over the prior year. Our general expense line is a little over forecast. We had some expenses for Water Institute registration, Great Lakes Initiative, and our annual fee for our WTH GIS system. It left us in net loss for the month of $38,050. our year-to-date actually shows a net income of $1,992. One thing I will point out is we did get an insurance check for the accident on Highway 12. It was $27,000 that offset our expenses here. And there was also a reclassification of parking lot paving for the plant that was in expenses in October that was moved out to capital items, so that helped out November a little bit more. On page 4, our contracted services line is a little high. That's second floor pump work at the plant. And then we also had some asphalt paving in there, it's about $3,000. Our miscellaneous line is over forecast as well. We got our excavator rental in there, and then that's where our other fees, the WTH, the Great Lakes Initiative, and the other annual fee is in that same line. The other items were below forecast. Actually, that's all I've got, unless there's any questions.
No, thank you.
Okay, any questions of Chris? Someone like to make a
I
motion?
certainly will. Motion to approve the financial statement dated November 2024, given to us by Mr. Wolf.
I'll second it.
There's a motion and a second that we approve the financial statements for the period ending November 30th, 2024 as presented. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Business plan. You all had a copy and took it home. I'm sure you studied it diligently.
I read 5 pages.
Anybody have any questions or comments on it?
I did reach out to Carla, since she wasn't going to be here, and she did respond that she didn't have any questions.
On the metered revenue, the water loss,
Yes.
how big an impact do you foresee that having going forward? The difference going forward, I should say.
On you mean with regard to, I'm sorry, with what loss? Are you talking about the,
The metered water, you had revenue that we weren't capturing.
oh, yeah, we are capturing, we've been capturing that, so that's why we've trended upward on, we've increased slightly on our revenues as a result of that. I believe has played a part in that, which is why earlier this year, we were usually running right at or a little below our revenue marks, and then we've been climbing and getting above our revenue projections. And then the idea is that we continue taking the same approach that we're taking now. We should see a continuation of increased revenue over where we anticipated and where we were last year too.
Is there a percentage of the city that you're covering that you haven't?
No, what it comes down to is a lot of our meters got to a point where the device that we read with has started to fail on a lot of them. The batteries are getting old and it's time to change them out. But when you change them out, if you just change that register and you don't change the body itself of the meter, those two pieces have to work together. And what I found is, what I believe was happening is some of our older bodies were being left in place. And even though we were putting a new register on top that was reading that movement, the mechanical portion that was inside the old meter was getting worn out and wasn't working properly. So when you change out a meter, you should change the whole meter put a brand new meter in for our customer, or if we have a good tested meter, we could put a tested meter on in that's been tested to make sure it's accurate. And then we bring the old meter back to the shop and we test it for accuracy. And if it can be salvaged, we'll keep it. If it can't be salvaged, we scrap it. So that's been the big difference. I found a few meters that were very old, like 20 years old on the meter body, but they had new registers. And yeah, just because it works or just because it reads doesn't mean it's reading accurately.
Okay,
So I think at this point in time, what we've put in here is we try to be conservative with our revenue in the plan. And hopefully we see the revenues actually be higher than what we're planning. But we try to be conservative with the revenue numbers.
so, can you anticipate how much time it'll take to bring all the meters up to speed?
We're doing them as they're failing, we're taking care of them. And then we have some big meters. I do have a plan to go out and get some testing done on some of our bigger meters. But those get tested in the field, they don't come back to us to get tested. We test those in the field, so that involves a third party. So when I get that all worked out, I'll have some purchase orders to go through with those.
And the goosenecks, how's the brass situation on that?
We placed an order for a large amount of brass and we've started receiving that brass in. So basically, if the board approves this business plan, after the first of the year, I'd like to start working on getting that crew that's listed in the business plan and get that moving. One of the benefits we'll have is that that crew will be, most of their hours is going to be capitalized. So it's not hitting our operating budget, it's going to be hitting our capital expenses. So, I mean, in the end, all our money that comes in goes out, but the idea is to try and not have it hit our operating budget too significantly by adding the extra personnel.
And how long do you think that process will take?
I guess it all depends on how many good quality candidates we get. I suppose it'll probably be through the first quarter to get people on board, get them trained to where they can be out on their own. But once we have enough people, we can actually create a crew with more experienced folks and put the less experienced folks on other jobs so they learn. So if we have enough people to do it, we should be able to get going within the first quarter.
All right. That's basically all I had. Anybody else have anything?
No.
So I guess we're ready to approve.
Make a motion to approve the 2025 business program as presented and discussed.
I'll second it.
There's a motion and a second that we approve the 2025 business plan as presented. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay. Old business.
I didn't have anything for old business.
New business.
Under new business, in your packets, I created as we did last year, looked at the schedule, the calendars, the upcoming year, and looked at the schedule for the minutes of board meetings. Normally, the second and fourth Tuesday is generally not an issue, but I did find 3 instances where we would have conflict. And part of the reason why there is conflict is because in my role in the chairs for the Indiana Section AWWA, it's important that I at the meetings that are in conflict with our meeting. So if we can move ours, it would be beneficial. The first is the April 22nd meeting. My recommendation is that we push our meeting back a week to April 29th. The week of April 22nd is the Indiana Section AWWA annual conference. And at that conference, unless something very strange happens, I should be moved into the chair-elect position for the conference.
Okay.
For the section, I should say. And then the June 10th meeting would be coinciding with the AWWA annual conference and exposition. That's the association level, the national conference. And I should be at that as in the position that I'm in as a state, within the state as well. And then I'm looking at pushing that meeting back 1 week to June 17th. We'd still, of course, have 2 meetings in the month of June and 2 meetings in the month of April. And then the November 11th, there would be a meeting scheduled for November 11th. That's the second Tuesday. Of course, that's Veterans Day, which is a holiday, plus the department is closed that day as well. So my recommendation is we move it forward 1 day to Monday, November 10th, like we did for tonight. And then the rest of them are also on, would work on the second and fourth Tuesday at this point in time.
I have no conflicts. I'm good with these dates.
Me too. I'm
Great.
good.
Yeah, that's one thing.
Do you need a
Do
motion
we
on that?
need to, I don't think we need to vote on that now.
Okay.
All right, any other new business?
That was all I had.
Public comments? Comments from the directors?
Yes, Merry Christmas to everyone.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
All right.
Motion to adjourn.
Do I hear a
I'll
second?
second it.
Yeah.
Motion second, we adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.